is not the coronagraph. This is HI1. Okay, and this is a different type of imaging. I'm not going to get into exactly what this is and how it works. It takes a minute to kind of explain it to everybody the right way. But you can definitely see there's two comets there. Now the sun's off over here on the right side. You can see the CMEs and stuff blowing off the sun here. This is how you know this isn't Comet Atlas. Comet Atlas is on the, I believe it's on the other side, if I'm correct. So don't quote me on that. I'm pretty sure it is though. It's over here on this side. So this is, I don't think this is Comet Atlas. Now if it is, I will most definitely come out and correct myself. But I don't think that it is. I don't think that one is either. There's just a couple other comets hanging around, and this isn't so abnormal. I know people think that, yeah, that's a lot of comets, and it is, okay? This is a little bit elevated in activity. I mean, it just is. But it isn't like extremely rare to have 4 or 5 comets hanging around. It is kind of odd to have interstellar comets and stuff like that flying through. Obviously, Comet 3I Atlas is definitely something we need to be paying attention to because it's something we've not seen before. It's done things. We're not getting official photographs anymore. And that's what I'm saying. I'm watching on the coronagraphs right here. I don't know anybody else that's showing you this. I wish they would. I really do. Because if anything happens that from this point of view, stereo A will catch it. And let me show you what I mean by that. Here's Earth. This is stereo A. So when I'm showing you this, we are looking from a perspective of off to the side. So anything that's on the backside of the sun over here, it's going to see. We can't see the field of view that stereo A does. It's going to see back here. We can't. Okay? So anything that's happening back here, we can't see, but stereo A can catch a glimpse of it here. So that's why I'm watching this. We're very fortunate. Now, I mean, they can still take this down if they wanted to. I'm not saying that anything crazy is going on there either, okay? I don't know. I don't try to speculate on those kinds of things because you simply can't prove or disprove it. So I just don't even go there, right? It just doesn't, it's almost a waste of time to like just solely do something and just concentrate on that part of it because you're never ever going to prove or disprove it completely. Somebody's always going to be in doubt, and I've just found that it's just, I have my opinions just like everybody else does. So I just decided to show you the information and then I move on. And that's, I think that's the best way to do it. You guys are smart. You guys can figure out what you all believe. You know what I mean? So yeah. Now, Dr. Tony Phillips here does a great job. I shout him out. I show his page almost every live stream. He does a great job. And, I mean, he's on point. I mean, as soon as something happens, he's got it here. So go over here to spaceweather.com. I'm actually going to just
Microphone muted. So I hope what everybody's seeing is comprehensible. If it's not, then let me help you explain. All right, Shalom. My name is Isaiah Bunny Yashral, also known as Isaiah Yashral, Crumworm, the feeling. All right, so I'm going to talk about, read about, go over some things of marriage, but this topic is so important that it needs to be talked about too. My marriage, personal, I'm going through an ugly divorce, no pun intended. The point of saying that is sometimes it happens, but it needs to be addressed. Israel and the world, we've known about marital principles, but they're not always kept. So I'm going to talk about some of that stuff, but this is very important.
Now this sunspot, I call it the twisted sister because the polarities are supposed to be left, right? Okay? Positive, negative, or negative, positive, depending on what hemisphere you're in. This sunspot here was odd in the way that it was, orientation was north-south. Okay? So when you get a north-south oriented sunspot, that's not a normal thing to see. It's not something that we don't see because we do see them. I think they said, was it 3% present that way? But this is why this thing is erupting so much.
All right, so for those who don't know, we've had a 5.1 solar mass ejection. All right, so there are people who believe that the Earth is flat. That is ridiculously stupid. Right now, people would be fried. The world would not exist if the Earth was flat. There's a huge ball of the sun is not a light. The sun is a vessel for containing light. You can read about that in St. John of Damascus, book number 2, chapter 7. The chapter is called Light, Fire, Stars, and on the Luminaries. So the sun itself is a vessel for containing light, just like a moon, right? Just like the moon. It's a real tangible object. It's there, but its purpose is for being the luminary that the God of the Bible, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, being a luminary. Now, a luminary is light bulb. This bulb itself, if I unscrew it, it's not a light. It's the light bulb is just a vessel for containing light. Well, the issue is that the sun is erupting. So whether you believe in the science of the earth being a sphere, or you believe in the science of the earth being flat, the reality of it is we all live on this plane, and the earth is flat to the foot, but it's round to the eye. So my point of saying that is to say, whichever one your persuasion is, you need to know what's going on above your head. There is a huge bomb, and people don't think of the sun as a bomb, but it is. The sun is a bomb, and it's right above us, and it's all in the scriptures. It's all in Revelations. The things that's happening right now in these last days are happening right now in front of our eyes. These circles that you see are called sunspots, right? These sunspots are where basically the sun is caving in, and when it's caving in, think of it like your booty, like your butt. When you poop, yeah. So the sun is letting out these huge, massive eruptions, violent eruptions. So you have plasma and everything that you've seen in the scriptures when you look at 2nd Ezra chapter 15 on the coming of Christ. The blast, the winds, the tempest, they were all mixed together. So so we have this violent eruption of these sunspots that are happening on the closest star to our planet, which is the sun. All right. There's a lot of CGI, a lot of videos and stuff that's out there, a lot of AIs about 3, 4, 5 different suns. We've already read about that stuff. Some of it is fake, but this is real. So you need to know what's going on, because some of us, like me, I stick with the scriptures. And for those of you who believe in the prophecies and believe in the coming of Yahushua Christ, who the world ignorantly and sometimes accidentally calls Jesus, for those of you who believe in him, all of these things are written, and we're seeing it happen on this planet closest star that we live on. So watch this.
The magnetic fields in it are twisted, so they keep reconnecting, disconnecting, reconnecting, crossing, and when.
If you don't know what that means, is when the solar mass ejections, the large flares go out. If you take a magnet, like you said, they're twisted. So what happens is they're going out, but they're going out and then they're reconnecting. That's not normal. All right. You can find out about the fiery vapors of the sun in the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7.
When they do that, you get that reconnection, and bam, there's your flare. Okay. And this is harboring what's special about this one. It's big enough and it's harboring enough energy that it's able to produce those bigger flares. Okay. So that, I don't really want to go too much more into that, because that's something that we could spend a whole half hour talking about. But that's just the simple part of it. It's the orientation, the magnetics of this is supposed to be left, right, and this one is north, south. And there was actually 2 separate cores in here, basically, and they were just crossing one another. It got to be a mess. And I don't usually show you guys the magnetic field lines on the sun, because unless you really know and you've seen it 1,000 times, it's hard to explain to somebody those field lines.
It is hard to explain, because it looks like when you look at the sun and you're looking at it from a scientific perspective, when they're showing you the magnetic ley lines, like the Earth has magnetic ley lines, which certain places like, say, Stonehenge sets on magnetic ley lines. So these ley lines are real. Well, whenever the sun, and you look at these images of the explosions, it just looks like a bunch of fields of circles. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of hard to explain, but here, I want to tell y'all about something. This is called the Carrington event, okay? Check this out. Sunspots of the 1st of September, 1859. Now, this is older than all of us, right? Of course, obviously. So this is 1859, so a lot of us don't know about it. And some TikTok and Instagram and all that other stuff, yeah, that's cool, that's cool. But once you hear that stuff, you're supposed to go and read and research, all right? So salute to you all, who've been putting out information. Check this out. What you were just looking at recently were sunspots. Sunspots of the 1st of September. And this is what everybody's been watching for and waiting for. 1859 is sketched by Richard Carrington. A and B marked the initial positions of the intensely bright events and moved over the course of the minutes to C and D before disappearing. All right, now watch this. The Carrington event was the most intense geomagnetic storm. So whenever you're thinking about the aurora borealis, okay, that's not an abnormal thing. Real quick, aurora borealis. Whenever you're thinking about the Aurora Borealis or you're thinking about the Antarctica, everybody has seen this in their childhood. Let me explain to you what this is. They say it looks like a curtain of colors. No, listen, those are called solar winds. We do not live on a flat plane, but we'll deal with that later. The earth is a sphere. It says so in the Bible. In the Bible, the word for circle is chawag. Chawag means sphere. So many different ways to break that down. It's beautiful. But then they'll come back and say, it's a circle. In Hebrew, it says sphere. So the point is that whenever you're looking at this Aurora Borealis, what this is these are solar winds that are the effect of solar mass ejections, which are the effect, which are from whatever effect of sunspots. So the sunspots, boom, they blow out. When they blow out, boom, you have a solar mass ejection. When the solar mass ejection goes, you have solar winds, right? Now hold on, hold that thought, stay right there. 2nd Ezra chapter 15 KJV. 2nd Ezra chapter 15. We might do 12 because written paper. Wait, what'd you give me? 2nd Ezra. Okay, what I asked for. All right. 2nd Ezra chapter. Let's do 12. Come on. 2nd Ezra chapter 12 KJV. Now, body rud eagle. This is the prophecy of not only of America, but the destruction and the the vision that was shown to Daniel. All right, that's not what I want, but you know what I'm saying. But you know that's a great one. Let's do 13. Let's go one chapter up because we're in the prophecy section. All right, well, all of this prophecy. All right, it came to pass all the seas that were raised. So we're looking right now at chariots. All right, so we're sharing this screen instead now. So right now you see 3-eye atlas, you see UFOs, chariots. In Minnesota, about 5 days ago, there were three police that reported. They did the public report. There was a chariot in front of them, and it had 6 rings going around it in different directions. This was 2025. That's the same Ezekiel's wheel that was seen in the scriptures. Okay, so these things are right here. It's not Project Bluebeam. All right, that whatever. But look at this. This is a prophecy on Christ coming and UFOs in the Bible, right? But not only UFOs, chariots as they're known, but also the fiery breath and vapor that Christ is going to use to destroy the world. I'm not tripping off nuclear destruction. The sun is going to do his own thing, but I want to show this terrifying comparison, and I also want to show you what the sun is doing. Now, I'm not trying to do no fear mongering. I'm making people be aware because a lot of Yasharalim, a lot of world just don't know. So they're watching these information, these shorts and all this stuff, but you're not really talking to nobody. That's, you know, you have the opportunity to talk to somebody or to hear from somebody that's been following it. All right. Following it. All right. Since before, you know, the fake media, you know, that stuff be so fake, man. Anywho, this is the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 13. Yeah, chapter 13. And it came to pass after 7 days, I dreamed a dream by night. This is the prophet Ezra from the Old Testament. And lo, there arose a wind. Now look where it says the wind came from. There arose a wind from where? From the sea. It don't say from the sky. Now in Hebrew, the word for water is mayam. So when it's talking about the heavens, it says mayam. But when it's talking about the sea, the oceans, it's also talking about the mayam. Watch this real quick. Come over here with me. 2025 drone ocean water sightings. Let's see if we can get any images, anything. Oh, I should have said drone. I should have said drone because that's a whole different play on words. So and that was something else when the New Jersey, the New York drones and all that stuff was coming out. I was telling everybody, yo, they call them drones. I was like, yo, hey, everybody, look, they trying to say these things are drones. They're not. They're not. Drone is a play on word. My children are drones. I'm the central base. I'm the mothership. I'm the Abba ship. If you on your job, your contract, your supervisor, he's the mothership. The mothership, you are the drones. The worker bees are the drones. They was just using the play on words and people weren't paying attention. Check this out. So UFO under the ocean. 1 week ago, there's so many of these videos. There's people in Florida. Let's get the one in Florida. All right. Let's get the one in Florida. All right. All right. UFO lights under ocean in Florida, 2025. All right, here we go right here. Booyah. Now, why are we coming to this? We're coming to this because these things are happening. It's right here in the Bible. Slide. My screen is super huge. Let me see if I can fix that. We got a limited amount of time, but I'm also going to operate in what how it's giving us to do. Check this out. Let me know if y'all can see this. Put a 7 in the room if y'all can see this. Put a 7.
Sophia has a way of finding the perfect fit.
I don't want to no commercials.
When she was searching for a vehicle, she started at FordBlueAdvantage.com,
Okay, do commercials.
where she found a certified pre-owned SUV from her local Ford dealer. It was backed by a Ford warranty and a Carfax report. A vehicle that fit her style and her budget to a T. Because she knows from experience the best finds are the ones that feel made for you.
No, I couldn't do it. I'm sorry. I tried to wait, couldn't do it. All right, so we're gonna go to an actual video to where we have it, and then we'll go from there. That was the one that I wanted. That was the one I wanted, though. All right, so I'm gonna do this right here. I'll show you. This is the video that I'm talking about 6 days ago. All right, undersea UFO reports off of the seacoast. This is obviously stupid and CGI. This one right here, I can't tell you nothing about this. I know that this is real. This is real. These are real. This one is real. All right. And this just happened as we see the report, what did it say, 4, 5, 6 days ago in Florida. They would listen. They was on the boat riding around. These mugs is under there. This isn't a one-time occurrence. Now this is an all-the-time occurrence. And this is what needs to be brought out. So let's go over here. We're going to go to our screen share. Open our screen share. We're going to go back to the scripture real quick. Shalom. All right. So we're going to open up the screen share. All right. Here's the link. All right. If anybody want to join, if you want to get in, you got something to say, you want to ask me a question. All right, you want to approach me on the topic matter. All right, here, boom. Especially dealing with marriage. You know what I'm saying? If you want to shoot your shot, let's get it. All right. So here's the screen share. All right, 2nd Ezra. And we're going to the book of 13. 2nd Ezra chapter 13, you should be able to see that. All right. So 2nd Ezra chapter 13, and it reads, yeah. And lo, there arose a wind from the sea that it moved all the waves thereof. All right. Now that image that you seen, that was the UFO and then all the waters, that's a good one for this visual. We'll see though. And I beheld, and lo, a man waxed strong with the thousands of heaven. And when he turned his countenance to look, all things trembled that were seen unto him. And whosoever and whensoever the voice went out from his mouth, all they burned that heard his voice, like as the earth. Here's like as the earth faileth when it feeleth the fire. We have a huge bomb above us. The sun is not just a gentle, warm, cozy creature. The sun is a volatile, spiritual, whatever you want to call it, but it's under control of Yahweh, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. At the same time, the fact that people aren't paying attention to it more closely, or it's no big deal, or maybe it just takes too much brain energy to think about it or to learn something new, or maybe it's just, not that important. But I like to share this because Ezekiel chapter 33 says, if I know and if I don't tell you, then I get in more trouble. No, thank you. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he never lifted up his hand, nor sword, nor any instrument of war. This is talking about the military of the world going to war against God when he returns. All right. So I'm gonna pull this real quick. This is where we're reading from. All right. We're in the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 13. And for those of you who don't know, there's a such thing as called the Space Force right now. They're gearing up and getting ready. There's, to try to go to whatever defense, whatever against what they're considering, what they got going out. And 3i Atlas has a part to do with that. There are comets, chariots that are surrounding our earth right now that are disappearing, reappearing. Disappearing, reappearing. They're doing different things that can't be explained. And now the world leaders have all of their telescopes. And for people to not believe in NASA is just stupid. That is dumb. I wish you Negroes wouldn't believe in Duke Energy. Tell Duke Energy you don't believe in them. See what happens. Tell your local internet provider, I don't believe in you. You ain't real. See what happened. Tell your water company, I don't believe in you. You ain't real. I think you a conspiracy theory. You was only made to make me think that I was really thirsty. And really, I got all the hydration inside of me because the earth is flat. What? Yeah, because, you know, the body is made up 75% water. So since all the water is inside of me, they really just want to drain my water. So when you drink water, it really dehydrates you. So it's really just conspiracy. Nigga, you tripping. NASA's real. Duke Energy's real. The water company's real. Spectrum is real. And their employees are real. And their principles are all in works. Whatever. I'm not saying that these they all rob us. They all rob us, but they all also do their job. The forefathers of the Bible wrote these things before NASA existed. The word NASA does not mean deceive. So if you tell me NASA means deceive, I don't mind going back to 5th grade with you, but I'll come there and I'll get my crayon. And we'll go through your coloring book. And we'll go through your Hebrew words and we'll read what NASA means and what Nasha means. And we'll write it out like, Nasha. We'll do it together. NASA does not mean deceive. This is a prophecy about the world militaries going to war with the power that's going to come from the sky. And here, this verse in 2nd Esdras, I don't know if, I'm not going to say it's a mistranslation. It says that this power is going to come from out of the oceans. Now, the tricky part about that is in Hebrew, the word mayam, it doesn't just mean water up there. It doesn't just mean water in the ocean. It doesn't just mean heaven. Mayam is a very, very broad word. And in the context of us reading, right here, it says the seas and the oceans. It don't say the clouds. That's a problem. This is verse 7. But after this, I would have seen the region or place wherein the hill was graven, and I could not. And after this, I behold, and lo, they which were gathered together to subdue him, were sore afraid and yet durst fight. United States Space Force. No. United States Space Force. All right. These, whoever they MNS, they apparently believe that, see, Star Trek, these Negroes got original Star Trek intercom logo. That's the original. No, not the intercom. I should have said, what's the one that's on their chest? What's their badge? I'll leave that right there and let y'all do what y'all want to with it. All right. This is the badge for the Star Trek intercom logo. This is the United States Space Force. Star Trek. United States Space Force. One more thing before we go. They ain't getting paid. Star Trek boys ain't getting paid. Okay. Oh yeah. So here's the Star Trek. All right. Here's the Star Trek website. I'm sorry, Space Force website. I live in the United States of America. I am a Hebrew Israelite, born of the seed and stock of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. My Abba is from the tribe of Yehoiada. My Amma is from the tribe of Gad. The reality of it is this right here. I am a captive in this land. Christ said, render unto Caesar's what is Caesar's. So I want to say salute to all of those hardworking, honorable men and women who sacrifice themselves and sacrifice their lives, sacrifice their time, their blood, sweat, and tears for for their families and their country. So salute to you. All right. Let's get back to the Bible. Share this page instead. After this, I beheld, and lo, all they which were gathered together to subdue him. This is the Space Force. The world powers will attempt to go to war against God. Were sore afraid, and yet does still try to, and yet durst fight. And lo, as he saw the violence of the multitude that came, he neither lift up his hand, nor held sword, nor any instrument of war, but only I saw he sent out of his mouth, as it had been a blast of fire, out of his lips a flaming breath, and out of his tongue he cast out sparks and tempests, and they were all mixed together. The blast of fire, the flaming breath, the great tempest, and fell with violence upon the multitude which was prepared to fight, and burned them up every one, so that upon a sudden of an innumerable multitude, nothing was to be perceived, but only dust and the smell of smoke. When I saw this, I was afraid. This is what the prophet Ezra seen, which he was just such a mighty man of the Most High. I have one bad dream and I'm done. I have a bad dream. I'm shaking in my boots. You know what I'm saying? Salute, man. Our brother Jeremiah, please say to Yah. He just gave a vision of his ministry. He said that he gave his testimony. Of the script says that men will dream, and women will have visions. So these prophecies are happening in front of our eyes. Let me share this over here in case anybody would like to get it. Matter of fact, comments. Oh yeah. Shalom, Yabrakum, Yabasham. I haven't seen any comments yet because I haven't been able to look at them, but I will rock with you. Also, let me put this in here because I'm putting this in here for any men. All right, any brothers, if you would like to get in here, any sisters, you got something that you want to say pertaining to or ask about marriage or even ask about me dealing with certain situations, boom, the floor is going to be open for you. All right, call me out, Charlotte. All right, so let's get back to this real quick. Finish this up.
Because there's so many of them. It's not just one or two field lines, guys. It looks like a rat's nest. So, but yeah, I want to rock. I love that. Love that. See here, think. That's right. That's right, baby. I love it. Okay, so let me go here with you. Okay. Now, again, you guys can go to. Hey everybody, what's crack-a-lackin'? Hope everybody's doing good in there. Somebody.
Now I came back to this, and this is what you see when you're looking at the sun through a coronagraph scope. So you have to be able to see the sun. You can't see the sun without, directly looking at it. All right. So there are different instruments, and this is one specific instrument is to change the spectrum of it. Then you'll be able to actually visualize it. All right. So let me pull that back up. All right. And this information is just right here, man. I really hope everybody takes a hold of it and start to see for themselves, because we don't know what type of time frame we have. We don't know what we don't know what the Most High has in store for any of us in the future. All right, but we do know this was written at a time before are written for our benefit. They're written for our learning. They're also written for our hope. All right, so let's go ahead and get started into this. I have a few things pulled up, and one of them are going to be screen share. This is called what we're going to be reading from. Let me share so you can go to it yourself. Now, Shalom, Mashaka. All right, so here's the link right here for anybody that would like to click on it. This link will take you to where we're about to read from. All right. All right. So starting right off, there was a man named Clement. All right, Clement of Alexandria. And what Clement did was he was the scribe of the Apostle Peter. And in the process of him being a scribe for the Apostle Peter, he went around the world with the Apostle Peter. So he got to learn what the Apostle Peter did and said. He was a part of a beautiful thing. His family was separated. Now watch this. Clement's mother must not take food with her son, and reason stated. There's a time frame for fasting. When you baptize or when you come to the truth, we learn that you should take about 3 days of fasting. All right. You should take about 3 days of fasting. And the reason being is because you're fasting for one, for intention. You're fasting for intention. Two, you're fasting for sacrifice. Intention. So you want to do it purposefully and try to make yourself suffer. And some people don't and haven't tried that, but it's very helpful. Now, Matilda has unintentionally fasted for 1 day. What does that mean? Matilda is the mother, and when it says she unintentionally fasted for 1 day, what she did was she came about the way of saying, I'm just not eating right now. And when she was like, oh, I'm just not eating right now, what happened was she was in misery. She was in distress. So boom, now what? She's talking to the Apostle Peter. And while they talking, he's like, if you really want to fast, if you really want to be sanctified in your sons in the Most High, if you really want your relationship to go well, if you really want your prayers to be answered, you have to sacrifice. You got to give something up. Now, meats are for the belly. Meats make you feel good. When you drink, it makes you feel good. It appeases our flesh. So when we take away from that, boom, now we have what? Now we have a desire. We have a longing. We have something that we want. If you take something that you want and you're feeling it, and then you take it away, now you're fighting your flesh. Now your spirit, your mind, your body, now they're all at war. Your spirit is saying, I don't want to, I don't want it. I have something else that I'm doing. I'm not interested in that. Your body is saying, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. Your mind is wrestling with you. The more you sacrifice and give up from that, the stronger you become. If you have a sexual desire, all right, sexual desire, everybody has sexual desire. I have sexual desire. I ain't gonna stunt. The Most High made me happy. So I have a sexual desire, as all men do. Hopefully, you know what I'm saying, you have a healthy and unharmed sexual desire. Then you know when it comes time to subdue that desire, you might want to pull back. You might want to fight a little bit. You might want to go ahead and appease yourself. Appease yourself with your rib. Appease yourself with yourself. You never know. Holding back from that desire, holding back from eating, sustaining yourself, abstaining, makes your spirit stronger. Whenever we fasting and we go through that affliction, the Most High sees it, he acknowledges it, he feels us, and he gives us favor. Matilda did it for 1 day on accident. Let's read this real quick. This is the Apostle Peter. This is the conversation between him and Matilda. And this is now we're going to go into chastity and marriage in a minute. I haven't started that yet because we're going to actually start that with a prayer. I got a short time frame. That's what the Most High has given us. But I want to show you all this before we go into that. So y'all know because we'll start with the prayer first. In truth, she did not taste anything. And Aquila, who must rather be called Faustinius in future, said, there is nothing therefore to prevent her from being baptized. So he was like, well, why can't she be baptized? Because she ain't eat nothing. All right, now I want to show y'all something. This name right here, watch this. First Thessalonians chapter 1. Look at this. And Paul and Silvanus and Timaeus, unto the church of the Thessalonians, which is in God the Father and in the Lord Yahushua Mashiach, grace and peace unto you, and peace from our Allahaya God and the Savior Yahushua Mashiach. The problem is that a lot of Israelites, including myself, we never really took these names and looked them up sincerely. So once I started looking up these names and who the actual people are, boom, right? First Thessalonians, thanksgiving for who? For these believers. When you go to First Thessalonians, there's a whole list of people that are in here that are mentioned about in different places of the Bible. Not only different places in the Bible, but written about in different antiquities. In the book of Clement, we see that Khan, Tuab, we see that the mother and her sons are already there. But that means that their lessons is there for us too. Watch this. There is nothing therefore to prevent her from being baptized. And Peter, smiling, replied, but that is not the baptismal fast, which is not taking place on account of baptism itself. And Faustinus answered, perhaps God, not wishing to separate the mother for a single day after our recognition of our table, has arranged beforehand the fast. For as she was chaste in times for her ignorance, doing what the true religion indicated, so even now perhaps God has arranged that she should fast one day before the sake of the true baptism, that is the first day of her recognizing us, as might take her meals along with us. When somebody uses scripture, a man don't work, he don't eat, and they try to use that scripture for, if you ain't got no job, you ain't eat, that's ridiculous. You're not even supposed to sit down and eat with Israelites if you're not a part of our custom and our community. We can share with you, but we have what's called a common table. And the same thing is in the Arabic principle. We have what's called the common table. You sit down and eat with each other if everybody is on the same page. That's why in 1 Corinthians chapter, 14? 1 Corinthians chapter 14, everybody is to be of the same mind. So with that being said, the no work, no eat, it's not just about labor. You're supposed to be working together in this oneness in the ministry. The Apostle Paul, he was a tent builder. We came with our own arms and we also gave arms to each other, right? So the difficulty is solved. Let not wickedness have dominion over us, finding a pretext and providence and your affection for your mother, but rather abide this day in your fast, and I shall join you in it. And tomorrow she shall be baptized. And besides, this hour of the day is not suitable for baptism. Then we all agreed that it should be so. So Peter says, don't get in your bag, don't get in your feelings. This is how it's supposed to go. She fasted the other day. She's going to fast today. I'm going to fast today with you. And then tomorrow we'll do the baptism. Plus, it's too late for a baptism. All of this stuff is right here. Let's go on to chastity. Now, here's our subject matter. All right. So our subject matter is on chastity. This is the hard part, because this is the part that a lot of Israelites know about, but they really don't suffer through. But it's right here. So if it's been right here this whole time, why can't we practice it? I'm here to tell you we can. So we're about to do our reading. First Corinthians, chapter 7 will be our main chapter. We're going to read from Clementine Homilies. We're in chapter 12, 13, and we're in, chapter 12. Wait. Oh, yeah. Hold on. Let's hold that right there. Let's go back. Clementine. Okay. Homily 13. Okay. We're in homily 13, and we're in section 13 also. Homily 13, section 13. So let's get back on. All right. We'll pull up this live. Oh, wait. Where are we at? Where are we streaming from right now? We're on YouTube right now, right? Let me pull up this live. All right. And let's get it. All right, Kaya, you done? You need to get done so you lay down, Khan. Basadar. All right, go ahead and finish up. All right. Tawada, Abanawa Yahweh Basham Hamashiach Yahweh Shai. Thank you, Heavenly Holy One of Yasharala. Yahweh Babkusha Palal Adad Natan Natala Anya Tatawara Wata Dabari Malama Yalim. Babkusha Salak Kasayam Kasayam and we just pray, God, in the name of Messiah Yahweh Shai. Please give us the wisdom to be able to say your words and forgive us of our sins and our fathers for their sins and the sins of the children throughout all time. In the name of your Son, Yahweh Shai, thank you always, and amen. Now, Peter on chastity. That same evening, we all enjoyed the benefit of Peter's instruction, taking occasion by what had happened to our mother. He showed us the results of chastity are good, and those of adultery are disastrous and naturally bring destruction on the whole race, if not speedily, at all events slowly. Now, when you're dealing with adultery, in case of adultery, men who know they're married to a woman, women who know they're married to a man, you have a marriage covenant, you have tokens, you have witnesses, you've been through the process, you've had a meal, you've had sex, you're married, mazel tov. Women who know that, men who know that, when they leave their husbands, when they leave their wives, the results are disastrous. You a whole adulterer out here, bro. You a whole adulterer out here, sis. And we ain't talking about based off your opinion of how somebody got together or their relationship status. We ain't talking about nobody's fornication past that there was. We talk about people that were certified, known, married. You're married to that sister, man. You shouldn't have laid with that other man's wife. You could have had another one. That was dumb. You married to that brother, sister. You should not have brought in another man. That was dumb. The results of adultery are disastrous and naturally bring destruction to who? To the whole race. Kayaya? Kayaya? You feel it now. Shop. Get you garment blanket cover up. The results are disastrous and bring destruction upon the whole race. But look, if not speedily, in all events, slowly, the Bible says to envy not the wicked, for you shall not know what their outcome shall be. One of the first principles we do in the Yasha Aliyam and Israelite Community 1 is try to keep the family together. If the family's been rejected, if the family's been thrown away, if the family's been cast away, the Most High says instead of a husband, be a father to the children, right? And then therefore you be loved of the Most High. And this is something that we do and that we try to do. We can't be Captain Save a Hose, though. All right. If you promote adultery, if you promote the leaving of man, wife, husband, and the promoting of getting back together and joined with another one, then you're a part of the problem. Being a part of the solution means reading the scriptures and sharing with the people what the meanings are, and then watching our own experiences. Let's get it. And to such extent, he says, do deeds of chastity please God, that in this life he bestows some small favor on account of it. If you're a woman and you want to operate in chastity, if you want to be set apart, if you don't like men looking at you, if you don't like, boys trying to touch you and stuff like that, that's a great thing. Women should not want the attention of other men on them, because that's called not chaste. But there's another phrase for it, zanah. That's called being a zanah, zanah. A zanah is a bad woman. Women who like too much attention, that's a bad thing. Chaste women, they don't like that, right? And if you're being good, the Most High says he'll do what? He bestows small favors on you on account of it. So things go right for your life because you're a good girl. Things go right for your life because you don't deal with men that you're not supposed to. Things go right for your life because you know you're beautiful, but you still cover up your body and you still a beast. You still got your dresses on and you still got all your beautiful earrings and stuff, and you still a good girl. You chaste. And that's why things go good in your life, right? So watch this. Even on those who are in error, right? So the Most High says what? Even for those who are in error, for salvation in the other world is granted only to those who have been baptized on account of their trust in him, and who act chastely and righteously. This is a precept to Isaiah chapter 8, verse 20, to the law and to the testimony. If they speak not according to these words, it's because there is no light in them. This ye yourselves have seen in the case of your mother, that the results of chastity are in the end good. For perhaps she would have been cut off, or perhaps she would have been cut off if she had committed adultery. But God took pity on her for having behaved chastely, rescued her from death, and rescued her from death that threatened her. Rescued her from the death that threatened her. There we go. Rescued her from the death that threatened her and restored her to her lost children. So the results of this one woman, her name was Matilda. Matilda was a beautiful woman. She was the mother of 3 sons. She had 2 twins, and she had an older son. Her older son and her 2 twins were found, and they found Christ. And they came to Christ during the time frame of the apostles. Think of the book of Clarence, right? And when they came to Christ, what they did was they followed the law, statutes, commandments. They kept all of the way. And then eventually their mother came into the truth. But when their mother was not with them, she was out in the world. She wasn't out in the world being a zanah. She was not being a zanah. She was sad. She was set apart. She was depressed. And while she was depressed because she thought her husband and her sons died, her sons was with the apostles Peter. And that whole time she didn't deal with no man. She was a good girl, and the Most High brought her back to her family. So these are the benefits and the results of chastity. This is the book of Clementine Homilies, chapter 13, and we're in homily 13, and we're in chapter, this is 10 IV, that's 14, 10 IV 14. Peter's speech continued. Now, Peter was a master debater. He always went into the debate ring. He was the fighter that was fighting with Simon Magus. Peter was a beast. All right. Peter's speech continued. But some will say, or some people will argue with you, how many have perished on the account of chastity? You know what I'm saying? They was being good, and they, you know what I'm saying? So what, she over there, she broke. I'd rather be broken in the world than be broken in spirit, or be broken in truth for Most High. Some might say, she this or she that. She ugly. Her body built funny. Her clothes messed up. Man, she died in a car accident, and she was chased. Hey man, she was a good girl, and she went over there to that party, and somebody messed her up. That's true. But the issue is that sometimes being chased, you can't be naive, and you can't not perceive danger. When you're a good girl, bad people are going to want to take you. When you're a good girl and you're a sincerely chaste woman, bad people are going to want to take you because they want to take that light, that spirit, Yahweh inside of you. So if you're a princess of the Most High, if you're a daughter of Israel and you want to be chaste, just know that in the process of being chaste, you're going to be chaste. You're going to be chased by people. You're going to be chased by unclean spirits. You're going to be chased by eyeballs. And a good girl, a truly good girl that likes to be chased, she don't want people. She don't want boys to chase her. She don't want boys to chase her. No. Look at what the Most High says. How many have perceived on that account? How many have perished on that account of chastity? Answer: yes, but it was because they did not perceive the danger. For a woman who perceives that she is in love with anyone or is loved by anyone, she should immediately shun all occasion with him as though she would shun a blazing fire or a mad dog. And this is exactly what your mother did, for she really loved chastity as a blessing. Wherefore she was preserved, and along with you obtained the full knowledge of the everlasting kingdom. The woman who wishes to be chaste ought to know that she is envied by wickedness, and that because of love many lie in wait for her. If then she remain holy through a steadfast persistence in chastity, she will gain the victory over all temptations and be saved. Whereas even if she were to do all that is right, and yet but once commit the sin of adultery, she must be punished, as saith the prophet. The benefits of chastity give women and men a longer life. I believe in practicing chastity even in my marriages. It don't mean that you can't be a man or a woman who expresses themselves intimately in different ways. It doesn't mean that. It just means that in your relationship between your husband and your wife, it's okay to separate from each other according to the prophet or the apostle for prayer and fasting. So if you know you need to be set apart, or maybe you're unclean, men become unclean too. Men can become unclean. For those of you who did not and do not know, men can become unclean. All right. So by many different ways. All right. And if anybody has any questions on that, I definitely don't mind speaking on it. But right now we're going to stick with this topic. All right. So when you're looking at the concept of chastity, the first thing that we learn about chastity is this principle right here. All right. Peter teaches them Ecclesiasticus, Sirach, chapter 2, KJV. The first thing that he teaches women when he goes into the principle of chastity is to not punk out. Okay. Now let's get the next thing on. We're going to also get 1 Peter chapter 3, KJV. Now on this screen over here, what we have is, my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble. Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Believe in him, and he will help thee. Order thy way aright, and trust in him. Ye that fear the Lord will wait for his mercy, and not go aside, lest ye fall. Ye that fear the Lord, believe him, and your reward shall not fail. Ye that fear the Lord, hope for good, and for everlasting joy and mercy. Look at the generations of old and see, did any ever trust in the Lord and was confounded, or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? The answer to this question is, look at the generations of old and see, did any trust in the Lord and was confounded? No. If you ask the Most High for help, he's going to help you. Did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? No. Yahweh got your back if you like, oh man, I need you, Yah. Or whom did he despise that called on him? Nobody. So the first thing that the apostle Peter taught the women is, when you come to serve the women also, when you come to serve also, you have to prepare your soul for temptation too. You have to be strong too. You got to set your foot aright. You got to constantly endure also. And not only that, you have to follow the principles of being chaste and staying away, shunning all badness. See, immediately shun all occasion of him as she would shun a blazing fire or a mad dog. So when you see that, listen, I'm in this situation. I'm a chaste woman. I want to be set apart. If a man loves you, then that man is going to try to get your attention and put his attention on you. If you just a chaste woman and you don't want people to get you to have your attention, then know that you still have people's attention anyways. The Most High says when you recognize a boy like you, shove and stop eating my blanket. When you recognize a boy likes you, you're supposed to run and don't deal with him. No, you're supposed to run from that boy like you're trying to run out of the house, like the house is on fire. Oh no, I don't want to get burned up. You better jump out that window. You ain't gonna sit there and be like, well, hold on, let me get my weave. Hold on, let me get my TV. Wait, let me pack my, nah. If a mad dog was chasing you, you're not gonna stand and be like, I think it's gonna be okay. Come here. Let me, maybe I can fix him. Maybe I can change him. Nah, if a mad dog is chasing you, you run. But women have the opposite mentality. When they see the house is on fire, some of them stay in there and then even invite people in. Everything is okay. Some women have the opposite mentality. When they see this rabid dog chasing at them, they have to like, well, I done had a couple rabid dogs. I done been bit a few times. What's one more? I'll just get a new dog. It don't bother me. And so what? That's not how Yahweh said to be. Yahweh said to run. This is the mentality of the chaste women. You shouldn't be easy to get. Women in Israel shouldn't be traveling miles all over the country and having sex with men and leaving men. That's something that just shouldn't be happening. They should be having the opposite mentality. You should be hard to get, not easy to get. If the Israelite woman, if the Gentile woman, if any woman would like to practice the principles of chastity, I just copy and paste this. I'm going to share this right up here, and it'll be here for anybody who wants to see, for anybody who wants to have, and it's there. The principles of chastity will keep you safe all the days of your life. All right? Let me put this up real quick. There you go. She will remain holy through a steadfast persistence in chastity. That's how you stay set apart. I want to bring up another screen share because I got a lot of reading to do. All right, here's the link to this. If you watch, if you want to get in, I'll bring you in. I'll bring you up on camera. I'll bring you up on screen. If you want to ask me something, if you want to say something to me, if you want to bring up something pertaining to marriage, if you listen, this is everyday Hebrews, and the reason being is because I show my life, living my life, always have. But this life isn't mine. This is Yahweh's life. So when I dedicated myself to the Most High, I knew the only thing that I could do was depend on Him. So let me bring this up. Boom. If you would like to join, click that link. Come on in. You'll be right up on screen with me. We can have a conversation. All right. Now I'm going to get back to reading this because I want everybody to be able to see. And at the same time, let me go ahead and turn this off. And we're going to bring up more camera. All right. Screen share up. Booyah. Screen share. Let's do some more beautiful reading. Early Church Fathers. Chapter 15. Peter's speech continued. The chaste wife, this is the subject, doing the will of Yahweh, is a good reminiscence of his first creation. What does that mean? The good reminiscence of his first creation is a good reminiscence of his first everything beautiful, the Garden of Eden. When Eve and Adam, mankind, womankind was in unity. The Most High loves that. So any woman should want to be a promoter. Any woman should want to be a promoter of chastity and good behavior. Knowing the principles first will help you get you there. For God being one, created one woman for one man. She is still more chaste if she does not forget her own creation and has future punishment before her eyes and is not ignorant to the loss of eternal blessings. I just wanted to let that resonate with you. You heard it right. It's not once saved, always saved. I need you to see this. She is more chaste if she does not forget her own creation. If you already a chaste sister, you even more so chaste. If you don't forget your place in this world, if you don't forget Yahweh who made you, if you don't forget your duties and your responsibilities, if you don't forget what the scripture says, how a Proverbs 30 woman is supposed to be. if you don't forget the God and the heavenly realm that you're trying. My prayer to my prayer for my ribs is that they meet their last king, and it's beautiful. And I've always said that I'm trying to want to introduce you to your king. Your king is Yahweh Shah Hamashiach. You're more chaste if you don't forget your own creation, and you what else have future punishment before your eyes, and is not ignorant to the loss of eternal blessings. The chaste woman takes pleasure in those who wishes to be saved, and is a pious example to the pious. Let me show you what the word pious means. Pious. Let's get the definition, and also let's get the etymology. Now, for those who know me, I like dictionary.com. Dictionary.com is super easy, barely an inconvenience. If you're not a big brainer, which I'm not, this brings it right to the place where you need it to be, right? Having or showing the skillful spirit or reverence towards Yahweh, or an earnest wish to fulfill religious obligation. Pious, characterized by hypocritical concern with virtue or religious devotion. Sacrimonious, practice or used in the name of real or pretend religious motives for some obstinately good object, falsely earnest or sincere. I want to see some words well, let's read these. Of or relating to religious devotion, sacred rather than secular, pious literature. Having or showing appropriate respect or regard for parents or others. Okay, I can see piousness. All right. If you're a woman and you want to live and operate in piousness, then what I think that we need to do is rewire everything that we've learned. Keep the good stuff, throw out the bad. I think we need to rewire. Okay, let me go over here. I wanna scroll down. We're gonna go to. I want you to see where you are. It's Clementine homilies, right? Addressed to Matilda. Peter's speech continued. I'm gonna say that one for tomorrow. The Most High's will. All right. But let's read this one right now. No. That's a good one. No. That's it. All right. But some will say, how many have perished on account of chastity, being set apart, being good? Yes, but it was because they did not perceive the danger. For the woman who perceives that she is in love with anyone or is beloved by anyone. So you're trying to be a chaste woman, and you really trying to be a chaste woman. Chaste women don't make themselves easily obtainable. They just don't. Chaste women make themselves set apart. They hard to get. The woman who perceives that I like him, or she perceives I think that brother likes me, should immediately shun all association with him, as she would shun a blazing fire or a mad dog. And this is exactly what your mother did, for she really loved chastity as a blessing. Therefore, she was preserved, and along with you, obtaining the full knowledge of the everlasting kingdom. The woman who wishes to be chaste ought to know that she is envied by wickedness. Let me save this and give it to you. If you want to start your walk over in this life, Israelite woman, and you really want to be chaste, the first thing for you to know is Sirach chapter 2. My son will now come to serve Yahweh, prepare thyself for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure. The woman who wishes to be chaste ought to know that she is envied by wickedness, and that because of love, many lie in wait for her. If you ever heard that saying, don't nobody ever want me till I'm with somebody. All this time I've been by myself. Ain't nobody tried to holler at me. Get out. Shalom. 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 Don't nobody want to be with me until I got somebody. Now that I got somebody, everybody trying to holler at me. Yeah. It's a spiritual thing. The woman who wishes to be chaste ought to know that she is envied by wickedness, and that because of love, many lie in wait for her. If then she remain holy through a steadfast persistence in chastity, she will gain victory over all temptations. It's already written right here. It's super easy, barely an inconvenience. But all of this stuff is conditional, just like you, a daughter of Sarah. If a woman wants to call herself a daughter of Sarah, she can call herself whatever she wants to. She can call herself a unicorn if she wants to. But you're not really a daughter of Sarah unless you're following the Bible. You're not really a daughter of Sarah unless you're doing it how the Most High said the daughters of Sarah do. Let's pull it up real quick. If you're really a chaste woman, these principles shouldn't bother you. If you're really a chaste woman, you wouldn't even argue. Chaste women don't run around arguing. They don't. Chaste women, they don't do stuff like this. Likewise, you wives, be in subjection to your own husbands, that if any obey not the word, that they may also without word be won by the conversation of the wives. And this is where I want to big up my ribs, because I gave them a stand down order and they kept it. I gave my ribs a stand down order and they kept it. And the reason being is because I want to respect and protect my wife's chastity. My job is to respect and protect my wife's chastity. And when they want to go in and protect their husband, they do. But then when you have scorners and people who are not observant to the truth, it's better to do what? It's better to stand down, because what you're doing is better than what the other person is doing. I've seen it. I was like, yo, this is where a whole bunch of wickedness is. If you behold chaste conversation coupled with fear, those who's adorning, let it not be the outward adorning of plaited hair, fake eyelashes, wearing of gold, putting on apparel. I put fake eyelashes in there because I don't like fake eyelashes. I don't like weave, and I don't like fake eyelashes. These are two things I don't like. I like fingernails. I like a lip liner, but these things, even fingernails, even lip liner, these things can be used as a distraction tactic. All of these things can be used as a distraction tactic from the inward woman, from the inward spiritual woman. But don't let it be the adorning of the outward appearance of plaiting the hair, the wearing of gold, putting on apparel. But let it be what? The hidden man of the heart, and that which is not corruptible, even the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit. It's so easy to see a godly woman and see who's not a godly woman. Meek and quiet spirit. You are not that. Or you are that. See? So are you that? Which is in the sight of the Most High of great price. For after this manner, in the old time, the holy women also who trusted in Yahweh adorned themselves, being in subjection to their own husbands, even as Sarah obeyed Abraham, calling him Lord. It's conditional. Whose daughters you are, as long as you do well and are not afraid with any amazement. I want to take this one phrase right here. As long as I'm just sometimes I'm just a little bit extra, and sometimes I just want to show things. You see this? As long as. You see that? During that whole time. That's what that means in the Bible. You ain't a daughter of Sarah. And your eyes should read the verses, and your spirit should perceive them. Brother, you ain't a son of the Most High, and your eyes should perceive the scriptures, and your actions to do them. Whenever you see it says as long as, that's a head chopper right there. That's a head chopper. For my character, provided that you are a daughter of Sarah, provided that you do what? When all of the scriptures are right in front of us, and sometimes we don't see them. Sometimes we just miss it. Sometimes they don't show us. Or sometimes people just put the scriptures behind them and pretend like they're not there. That happens. I'm not allowed to do that. I'm not allowed to do that. These are the principles of chaste women, and if you would like to be one, God shows you how to be one, and it's conditional. Likewise, ye wives, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor to the wife as unto the weaker vessel. and as being heirs together of grace of life, of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered. Let's come back over here. That's the example of pious. First Peter chapter 3 is the example of a pious woman. A chaste woman wants to be like that First Peter chapter 3 woman. For she is the model of a good life. She who wishes to be chaste cuts off all occasions for slander. She don't promote more slander. She don't encourage more slander. She cuts it off. She doesn't do what women who call themselves Israelites today and what Gentile women do. You really a chaste woman? I know chaste women. They'll cut it off. You won't hear of them again. They'll cut the man off for real if they really done with him. Cut it off. But sometimes we have to read and see these things again so we can be able to judge between what's right and what's wrong. But if she be slandered by an enemy, though affording him no pretext, she is blessed and avenged by God. The chaste woman longs for God, loves God, pleases God, glorifies God. And to men, she affords no occasion for slander. The chaste woman perfumes the church with her good reputation and glorifies it by her piety. She is, moreover, the praise of her teachers and a helper to them in their chastity. This is where we're going to stop this one at for right now, for today. And I know a lot of people have not heard and or read that, but it's right here for you. You can do a visual spiritual comparison to what real life is opposed to what presentation is. And if you don't see for yourself right now, like me, 1 Corinthians chapter 13, I got issues with 1 Corinthians chapter 13. So I have to go through check marks, checkpoints for myself. 1 Corinthians chapter 13, love is this, love is not this, love is this, love is not that. Clementine Homilies, chapter 13, a chaste woman is this, a chaste woman is not that, a chaste woman is this, a chaste woman is not that. So prayerfully, hopefully, the Most High's will, what you'll be able to do is go through and see for yourself. I'm going to share the link because each one of these segments and the Most High's will, we'll be doing another one, if not tonight, another one tomorrow. Their nap time is over. We about to go play. Hallelujah, I'm free. I ain't on a slave ship, and I still got buku bread. I still got food. I got lights, utility, my house, my hair. All of the things that the liars said that we would leave or lose, Yahweh's giving us more in the process of it. And I praise the Most High. I pray that the Most High bless you, keep you, making space to shine upon you. Shalom, study chastity. Today's reading that we seen, it was from Clement of Alexandria, Clementine Homilies. We gotta go get some cereal. All right, that's what we need. We better go get some cereal. We better enjoy ourselves in freedom of Yahweh by Shem Mashiach outside. And I like to say thank you to my ribs, and for them for their steadfastness, and even making it possible through the power of God, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We are rich. Clementine Homily, or Clementine Alexandria, who was he? He was an early Christian theologian who lived in Alexandria, Egypt, in the late 2nd and 3rd centuries. He wrote some of his notable works, includes the Protractus. Excuse me, I didn't say that right. I can though. Protractus, which is the exhortation. I don't want to even try this. The instructor, and he wrote miscellanies. All right. Relationship with Clementines. He was a real historian figure, but the Clementine homilies were not written by him. Beautiful. Let's scroll on. A collection of 20 sermons, a novel like a narrative written in the late 2nd century. All right. They are attributed to pseudo Clement, it says false author, and are not the work of either Clement of Alexandria or the historical Clement of Rome. Content. They are presented in a fictionalized account of the journey of the Apostle Peter and the debate of his opponent Simon Magus. They are valuable for understanding early Christian thought and theology, but contain some heretical ideas. The present to account an account of Clement's conversation to Christianity and his relationship with Peter, who supposedly transmitted these writings to the author. Term homilies is a modern slang term for close friends associated and is not related to Clementine. Oh, that's homies. That ain't homies. That's homies. All right. So Clement of Alexandria. I'm gonna have to look up Clement of Rome also. Our other book that we're going to be reading from, Flavius Josephus and the Dead Sea Scrolls on marriage. All right. So Clement of Rome, boom, here we go. Pope Bishop, considered to be one of the first apostolic fathers. So it wasn't Clement of Alexandria. We were supposed to be looking at Clement of Rome, excuse me. So Clement of Rome, this is the student of Peter. All right. Here's the images, but here's pictures. Like these are Russian icons. If you know, saying the whitewashed images, I really don't care about. All right, but what I do care about was his relationship with the apostles and how he taught, gave exhortations. All right, on the writings of the apostles on marriage. All right. So with that being said, this will be our last one, and I'll read this and I pray to help somebody. The chaste wife doing the will of God is a good reminiscence of his first creation. For God being one, created one woman for one man. She is also still more chaste if she does not forget her own creation and has future punishment before her eyes and is not ignorant of the loss of eternal blessings. The chaste woman takes pleasure in those who wishes to be saved and is a pious example to the pious, for she is the model of a good life. She who wishes to be chaste cuts off all occasions for slander. But if she be slandered by an enemy, though affording him no pretext, she is blessed and avenged by God. The chaste woman longs for God, loves God, pleases God, glorifies God, and to men she affords no occasion for slander. The chaste woman perfumes the church with her good reputation and glorifies it by her piety. She is, moreover, the praise of her teachers and the helper of them in their chastity.